Hey everyone, Michelle Frary here, Member of Parliament for Peterborough Kawartha. My face is all flushed because I've just come, I'm at the Holiday Inn Express in Kingston, Ontario with my colleague Frank Caputo from Kamloops Thompson Caribou. I was going to say it, but I wanted to make sure. Just a few short months ago, I came in contact with an incredible human named Kerri Kehoe, and Kerri is a remarkable woman of resilience and turned her pain into purpose. And she is one of the many victims across this country whose rights who've been put underneath criminals' rights. And it's something that we've been fighting for and advocating for in Parliament, in committees. We have a massive upheaval and upside down of victims' rights in this country. And criminals are taking a front seat. Now, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm sitting beside a TV, but I have Kerri here beside me. But what Kerri invited me to take part in, along with Frank, because Frank has an incredible background as a former federal parole officer, Frank, and lawyer. What kind of lawyer? Crown Counsel. So Frank has an incredible background in this, in understanding the justice system. And so Canadian True Crime, one of the longest standing and most popular podcasts in Canada, hosted by Christy Lee, did a part one series of the Nozzles gas station murder in Kingston, which involved a terrible criminal named Richard Charles Joyce. Richard Charles Joyce was sentenced to life, and it later came out that he had sexually assaulted 3 young girls. Very courageous and brave. These were very small young girls, so there should be a bit of a trigger warning on this if you're watching. This is pretty graphic and awful stuff. Kerri was one of those victims when she was just 11 years old. Now, Kerri is with me today, and Kerri is an incredible human, and without re-traumatizing the poor victim who has to put herself out there, Kerri, why did you want to do this podcast, and why did you want to screen it in front of so many people who came out to support you tonight?
As you know, I've reached out to you for support to bring it forward for public awareness that Richard Charles Joyce, who received a life sentence for the murder of Margaret Yvonne Rollo, 20 years later, he was convicted of sexual assault and kidnapping against 3 little girls, including myself. He's now eligible for parole. And just recently in September, there was a public awareness campaign about his parole board hearing. We made Canadian history in having 82 people join or to apply to attend this virtual parole board hearing. And 30 of us gathered as a community in Kingston where the crimes were committed, and his escorted temporary passes were denied, and now he has a right every single year to apply for escorted temporary absences, ETAs, and Christy Lee from Canadian True Crime podcast did a 3-part series on the murder and the kidnapping in order for the public to be aware that this not legally designated dangerous offender, but this offender that's very dangerous to public safety has all these rights. And I personally, from experiencing that, I don't have a lot of rights as a victim of crime, and the system is set up for his rights to be center. And so I appreciate Frank and Michelle coming down here to attend the public gathering. There was about 55 of us that gathered to listen to part 2 of a 3-part series, and they have been supportive of my experiences and supportive of the ongoing issues from the parole board hearing in which my rights were infringed. And I just appreciate them taking the time to come here to listen and to be made aware of what is happening right now.
Yeah, horrific criminal, kidnapping, like she said, sexual assault. Now, Frank is on the other side. Now, Frank, what was so disturbing, I think, and what jumped out at me is that Kerri was told, and so had it in her head, that Richard Joyce would leave prison in a body bag. So for her, the idea of this guy ever getting out she was able to sort of heal, because she thought, okay, I don't have to worry about this. He's behind bars. He'll stay there for the rest of his life. He's now in minimum security prison With your experience, where are we in the scale of victims' rights versus criminals' rights, and how do we sort of stop this?
Well, first off, it's an honor to be here with Kerri. She's just displayed such incredible poise and bravery. It's really hard when we talk about victims' rights in this
Come over,
process.
make sure they can hear you. It's Frank's Frank's this nice, soft-spoken guy.
I've never been told that, said no one. Here's the thing. We often forget about victims, and victims like Kerri might be in what I've said before is a psychological life sentence.
100%.
They might be serving that psychological life sentence. People who've experienced sexual trauma, they carry this for life, and that's why I think sentences have to reflect that. And further to what Michelle just said, that's why we have to start recognizing that victims are key to this equation. We cannot forget the Kerris of the world, and these are the people we know about. So many people carry this trauma for, well, like we heard tonight, 20 years. Some people never discuss it because of all sorts of different reasons. So we need to be there for these people, and I've said it before and I've said it again, that Michelle and I won't take my foot off the gas pedal, neither will she, when it comes to fighting for these people, because they deserve every single ounce of justice that society can give them and that the legal system can give them.
Thanks, Frank. I'm going to take you into the room just to show you, to see if we can find Christy. I know a lot of people are big fans of this podcast, and so you'll be able to watch it. So the one that was just screened for us, Kerri, when can Canadians expect to watch? The Nozzles one is out now, right?
February 16th, part 2 and 3 will be out.
Okay.
Part 1's out now.
Okay, I'm just going to turn it around. Oh, you got Pete Fisher watching. You want to say hi to Pete? Okay, Pete's the guy that actually introduced us. So I'm not going to put anybody. I'm live on Facebook, so if you don't, I have the camera facing this way. So if you don't want to be on my video, I won't put you on. But I am going to put this star on. I'm just live on. Are you okay if you're live on Facebook? So Christy, you guys can come back. I'm not interfering. This is Christy Lee. You've got a ton of fans. We just interviewed Kerri out front. We're live on Facebook. They want to hear you talk about the podcast, 3-part series. If you want to plug it and tell people when they can watch it.
Yeah, so, well, it's Listen. It's
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
It's
So
the old video girl in me.
It's a 3-part series based on 4 different cases that are connected by a single thread, and so three of them are cases of child sex abuse, child abduction, and sexual assault. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous.
I want to turn it around, actually. This is good. It's great to hear you talk in person, but I guess you can finish answering what you said, but I also wanted to know why this story drew you in so much too for Kerri.
Oh, okay. So Kerri's friend Kate first messaged me, and she said, Kerri's doing this advocacy work. I really think you could help, and I just found it so compelling. And even though my own kids are 9 and 11, so I have my daughter is 9. So I just decided to go for it, and it's been hard, and I really commend Kerri Kehoe for just being so amazing, and she's just such a calming influence. And I really struggled with this case, and I'm fairly desensitized these days, and I don't tend to do child cases very often because of my own children, but I couldn't say no, and I'm glad that I did. But yeah, I hope that he's never released from prison.
You shouldn't. Okay, so again, if you want to plug the podcast, where can they watch and the episodes?
Yeah, so you can find Canadian True Crime on your favorite podcast player: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Just look for Canadian True Crime. That's it.
I love it. And the proceeds were going to a local organization. Is that what?
Yes, the Children's Treatment Centre of Cornwall.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. A lot of people, while I have you, what made you start this podcast? I promise I'm almost done with her. She has fans lined up that want to talk to her.
I just wanted to, it was a passion project. I wanted to teach myself how to do a podcast, and I've always been interested in true crime, and I just really love analysing facts and just putting facts together and telling a story and analysing the situation. So,
well, thank you. We need some more real, true journalism. So you're actually providing a little bit of that. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for helping
Thank
Kerri.
you.
You did a great job, and it's lovely to hear you talk. I could listen to you talk all the time. You've got a great voice.
thanks, Michelle. So
Thank
do
you.
you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you very much, and thank you to Kerri. She's a star. Keep watching this case. We'll keep covering it, and we'll keep fighting for victims' rights. Thanks, guys.